Yo, everyone, welcome to FunPop. This is episode number 71. This is probably the second to last episode in a while because next week we'll have Jasper's last show, and then we'll be kind of on hiatus until either there's something crazy exciting to talk about or until Jasper gets back, and then we'll all catch up on stuff. So
Watch the week after I leave, they cancel MCU or some shit. It's like,
yeah, the MCU's done. It'll be like the Xbox thing, or like rumors start swirling around about them rebooting the whole thing or something like that, But yeah, thanks everybody for being here. Welcome to Fun Speculation and welcome to Fun Pop. This is the show on our channel where we do get to talk about things other than games quite a bit. We talk movies, TV shows, and also some gaming stuff as well. This week we got Jasper. What's up, Jasper?
Yo, it's going pretty good, I guess. Tried to play Helldivers, couldn't get in today. It did load and then it just didn't do anything. So just not playing that, I guess.
Yeah.
And then
I thought today was the patch day.
they patched it so it's a prepared patch, so when they do get more servers, it will work.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. How are you doing, 3-bit?
I'm good. Just was on C Money and Doodle's show. That was actually really fun. Fun conversations.
Yeah.
And I've been playing Coffee Talk. Almost done with Coffee Talk episode 2.
Right on.
Been making some coffee,
Is that a sequel or is it like a what is it? Is episode 2 like is it an episodic game? Is that
yeah, it's episodic.
Okay.
So you're just making more coffee.
Interesting.
I'm talking more.
So it's a relationship building game, right?
With your customers, not like a dating.
So you make coffee for them and talk with them.
Yeah. And they like come to your coffee shop and they're basically like, you know what? I know we don't open up like this, but I'm having trouble at work or something. And then for some reason,
You're a barista that's a therapist.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. So I don't know. For some reason, I'm enjoying because it's like I like jump from Alan Wake, something that's super intense. Yeah, it's like crazy story and it's dark, and then I just want to make some coffee.
Yeah.
So it's like I jump between those two games right now.
Who is your favorite customer?
There's this siren girl who comes in the shop. She's like a siren, and she wants to be an opera singer. Probably my favorite.
Okay. Interesting.
Is there actual dialogue in that game, or you just read text?
There is just text. Yeah. It's just text. And then I kind of look up the recipes online. Even though I'm not supposed to.
So you're like using cheat codes basically for coffee talk?
Yeah, pretty much.
Why do you gotta look up? Don't they just tell you like I want 2 shots of macchiato with like whipped cream or some shit in it?
Yeah, and then I'm like, I don't know what the heck that is, so I just look up.
You're like the we were out last week for Valentine's Day, and we went to a bunch of stores and stuff, and we went to this one place, and it's like, do you know what Cold Stone Creamery is?
No,
I've heard of it.
It's like, or what about Marble Slab? Have you heard of Marble Slab? Right. So anyway, they put the ice cream on a cold slab and they do the mix-ins and stuff, right? So there's a chain called Cold Stone. Well, like they changed this Cold Stone, and they also implemented another like yogurt ice cream place into it as well as Cold Stone, and there's also this other chocolate place that used to be standalone that's like Rocky Mountain Coffee or Rocky Mountain Chocolate. So there's like 3 stores in one big ice cream shop now, where it all used to be separate places. So it's really weird. I mean, there's 4 places because there's also a coffee shop, right? So usually just do Starbucks or one of the chain places, but and this is a chain place too, but it happens to be in this place. Well, when we're in there, I was like, I want to try their coffee because I don't want to stop somewhere else and stuff. I felt like the person making the coffee there was like you looking up the cheat code to figure out the recipe because they've never done it before.
Yeah.
Because the instructions are like on the wall behind the coffee thing, and it's like I just ordered like a caramel macchiato, iced caramel macchiato, right? And he's
Mhm.
like looking on the wall and doing this, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna
That
suck
would be
ass.
me.
Yeah, like this is gonna be
Yeah.
horrible. You know, he's never done this before, obviously, and you can tell there's people
Yeah.
walking around that have done it before and they know what they're doing, but he ain't asking for help. You know, he's got to do it himself. You know, so he's looking up the
Yeah.
cheat codes on the fucking wall to make the
That's
coffee,
definitely me.
and it was it
Especially
was
if I
really
ever work
bad.
at a Starbucks, like I'll be like a
No,
caramel.
I think
Okay.
they actually train you how to do those things at like Starbucks. I feel like this was just there and nobody ever orders coffee. You know?
Oh, okay. It's like the
Yeah.
thing that, yeah.
People go in there
Okay.
for the ice cream,
I'll
right?
never go to Starbucks again, but I'll go to other places.
Right on.
I
Alvin.
got sick. I got food sick.
Alvin hit us with a $10 super chat. Shout out to Alvin. Says, sup, FunSpec fam and chat. Since I have roughly 6K hours in the Borderlands franchise, I'm basically obligated to be there day one. I just really hope they deliver. 9-second teaser is good tone sign, in my opinion. That's good because I'm kind of like on the fence, and that's kind of what one of our main topics here is today is Borderlands movie. Now we've seen better video game adaptations as of recently, but then traditionally over the history of gaming, there's been a lot of really bad ones, right? Then there's also
Yeah.
kind of like ones that used to be bad, but now we kind of look at them as cult classics because they were so bad that they're just like fun to watch and see how bad they were when you watch them back, right? But like there's been a lot of bad ones in the past, but like more so the last few years, things have been better with TV shows, with movies, and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like that's a big way where Hollywood's kind of looking for other source material besides just comic book movies. You know, obviously all these streaming apps are looking for other things too, right? So, you know, I remember 2 years ago or so when we were watching Gearbox's big showing at the
Oh, yeah.
E3 or whatever, and it was just Randy Pitchford walking around on set to this like movie, you know, like here's my buddy Kevin Hart and all this shit and all this stuff. And then it's kind of, we haven't really heard anything about this movie in a while. And then today we got a teaser for the main trailer that's going to drop tomorrow, right? And it looked interesting, right? It's got Kate Blanchett in it. It's got Jack Black, Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis,
Yeah.
and then a couple other people that I didn't really recognize. But overall, like they've got a pretty big cast here, and Alvin seems that the tone was pretty good. The
I
tone
feel
for
like the tone
Borderlands,
is right.
the tone should be kind of over the top and crazy, right? Like, I mean, that's just kind of
Mhm.
what you would expect from Borderlands. Um, and I was saying before, guys, like, you know, maybe this has some good hope because of the director. And then I thought it was a different director. Like, the name was familiar, but then I went and looked at everything they made, and I was like, oh yeah, this isn't who I thought he was, right?
Yeah, I thought
So
Eli Roth was the dude who did the District
no,
movie.
that's Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah, that's what Jasper said. I was like, oh, then who the heck is Eli Roth? I thought I knew who this guy was, but maybe someone in chat could be like, this is what Eli Roth is known
I
for.
see,
Because I
and
could have swore I knew him.
I had thought of him as a famous like horror director that had made like some horror movies that I remember watching back in the day, but like turns out he wasn't that person either, you know.
Who the heck is this guy?
So I looked it up and we were like, oh, it's not who I thought he was, you know.
Yeah.
But overall, like this could be, you know, it could be a great movie, you know. Who knows? But overall, like, do y'all think this has a chance to be a great video game adaptation movie with Borderlands?
Go Jasper first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. It's tough because like I kind of feel like this movie's gonna be super basic and generic at the end of the day. Like, especially with the casting, like Jack Black and Kevin Hart. Like I already know Jack Black's gonna sing some dumb song. Kevin Hart's gonna get a short joke thrown at him like 3 or 4 times the fucking movie. It's like it's just so like formulaic with those actors. That it's like I kind of already know where this movie's gonna end up being. So it's like it's not going to be like a great movie, but it's not going to be like a super shit movie either. It's just going to be kind of like, oh, that's
Like fun.
yeah, it's like a popcorn movie. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, and I personally don't really like that because like even with like the new Jumanji movie, like they just took like such a different route, and they like kind of just use the stereotypes that these actors get, like again with Kevin Hart or The Rock or whatever. It's like those actors just kind of have their own stereotype with them, and it's just like
Yeah, it's like
cool.
Kevin Hart playing Kevin Hart in a movie as opposed to, you know, yeah, I get what you're saying, instead of really fitting the role of the character. Yeah.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
I
I agree with you.
so when I seen the teaser, I was like, this is where I agree with Amit. I feel like the tone is pretty cool. Like how they got the logo in there, like where the environments are. Claptrap looks great. Some of the cast members, I don't know. I have to see more a little bit, and I know they're having a trailer tomorrow, so that's when I'll get like
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of waiting
full
for.
thing. Yeah, because the teaser, I'm like, I don't know about like I agree with Eastside. He said I love Kate Blanchett. I do too. I feel like she is kind of too old to play Lilith, but we'll see. It feels like a lot of these people are constantly they're just kind of cosplaying as the characters. But maybe when I see the full trailer, I'll maybe that will change my mind. I don't know. Claptrap they got right, I think. Everyone else, I'm just trying. I'm on the fence about a
So
little
it's
bit.
Claptrap is Jack
Um,
Black, or
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Like, and I
yeah,
love Jack Black, but when I think of Claptrap's voice, I don't think
I don't
like
think of
Jack
Yeah,
Black, you know. Um, so I'm wondering how they're gonna handle the tone and everything of the voice with Jack Black. Maybe they'll, because he's like talks really like it's like a robot with like a high pitched voice and stuff, and
wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, so maybe they'll change it, or you know, maybe not. But yeah, I saw like Kate Blanchett looks like great casting for Lilith, but then like when you like look at it, it's like, oh, okay, maybe not. Also, because like she's awesome. But you know, like I feel like the castings are kind of weird. It's more like they just went for big names as opposed to like who fit
Bring
potentially the
people to the
characters
seats
the
and
best,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
But that also could mean more success for the movie, and it could still be done right, and these actors could do great jobs, right, in their roles. But and it's also a stupid premise type movie anyway. So like,
Mhm.
does it matter a little bit less for it to be like,
Like
you
this,
know,
I don't think
his
the story
portrayal of this
matters.
character in Borderlands is really not fitting. You know what I mean? It's like, does it matter as much in a stupid kind of tone?
It doesn't matter for luckily in a game like Borderlands where I wouldn't say it's not about the story. I mean, the story is there and it is like pretty cool, especially if you play like the Telltale's Borderlands. I love that one. But it's more so about the wacky world, the design, the sort of to me at least. Like when I think of Borderlands, I think of the design of the world itself and how crazy it kind of is and how they're fighting for the vault and stuff.
but at the same time, like even though the game's silly, but they still have like a serious like task that they're doing. Like, but they
It's a
kind of
mixture of
complete
two.
they complete that task in like a silly way. Like they're constantly fucking up or whatever. But at the end of the day, they still complete that task, even like like saving the world or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, if that's the thing, Jasper, then I feel like they could do that with this cast because Kevin Hart, you're like, I help me. He's like falling off a vehicle, and Kate Blanchett's like, whatever, And then you got the Jack Black as the Claptrap. I feel like I could see it, but I just want to see the full trailer. Like right now, I really feel like they're just kind of cosplaying as the people. I don't feel like they are those characters yet, but maybe I'll feel that when I see the full trailer. But yeah, I feel weird about video game movies because for a while I was like, it's not. I don't even think it's possible. Every time I see a video game movie, it's terrible. I had hope for Halo for a
CDKeys.com.
while.
Whoa, my bad. Sorry. There's freaking IGN automatically played audio on an ad when I was going through their website, and it was like
Oh,
blaring. It just said cdkeys.com. Like, holy shit. Okay.
we
Anyway,
got sponsored,
sorry,
y'all.
chat. I was just scrolling on the
That's
for
funny.
looking at the Borderlands stuff on their website.
Oh, is it on the
Yeah,
screen?
they have stuff. No, I didn't put it on the screen. I was just looking for
Oh,
images that I could like pop up, But
yeah.
anyway, continue. My bad.
Yeah. All I was saying is like a lot of video game movies. They're usually really. It's only been recently that we're like, oh, you can actually do a successful video game movie. For so many years, we were burnt with like the original Doom with The Rock, or the Mario Bros. Movie, the original one, not the new one. Like what was it, 90s or 80s? I think I forgot. Then we had like the Prince of Persia movie with Jake Gyllenhaal. Then we had Assassin's Creed movie with
Fassbender,
who's
Michael Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender. And then we've had a lot of video game movies over the years. And I feel like recently they started to figure out a formula, like how do you make a good video game movie? Make it like the game. like like literally follow what the game is doing, and don't treat video games like you're ashamed of it being a video game. I feel like so many people get that wrong. And it happens within comics too, like the Fan Fantastic movie. They were like ashamed that it was a comic, it came from a comic book. So I feel like video game movies do that too, and that's usually when they fail. Good thing about this trailer is it really is taking a lot of stuff from the video game that I see so far. So that could just mean it's a good time, fun movie. And I could watch movies like that. Not every movie has to be top tier Oscar winning movie. I'll watch fun movies and stuff if that's what they're going for. I'm just curious if these characters are kind of believable and the characters are portraying. Because when I saw Kate Blanchett like shoot that gun and like roll over on that canister, I'm like, you look like you're cosplaying as this character. But I plead the fifth for the rest of that. But
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I think it's gonna be. I mean, they got the look right, the
Yeah.
vibe of the poster and all that stuff. And if they're embracing the video gameness of it, that's cool. But like the one thing I don't want to see is like what Jasper said. Also, is like it's just all the actors are just playing
Kevin Hart.
themselves, yeah, to draw the audience in,
Yeah.
and they're just using the Borderlands as an excuse to put up all these actors in a movie and sell a bunch of tickets. You know what I mean? I
Can't
wanted to
imagine
pay.
Kevin Hart doing any research on his
Yeah.
character, but
Oh, like what is
maybe.
Roland like?
Who's
Yeah.
he actually like?
Yeah, I'm playing Roland. Okay,
All right, what does he do?
who's that? Like
It's just funny. I can't imagine Kevin Hart doing research for
yeah.
these characters.
How would he emote to this? Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's interesting to think about like that aspect of it, but we'll see. Maybe at the end of the day, it's not like Halo or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fucking Borderlands. No offense to Borderlands fans, but like it is like that cheesier type of thing that you're making a movie on, right? Anyway, so but yeah, we'll see. I want it to be a success, so that way we do get more video game movies, though. So, is this kind of like, in a way, this is like the Uncharted? Because like I saw this was like from the same producers as Uncharted, right? It's like Uncharted kind of did that too. They just like got Mark Wahlberg and fucking Tom Holland, in an action movie, even though they didn't necessarily fit the characters
I thought
whatsoever.
it did okay, right? Like
it did well
in terms of the box office. It did like okay, right?
Yeah, and
Uncharted.
like watching the movie wise, it's still a fun, just kind of dumb popcorn movie to watch or whatever. I feel like this is
Yeah.
kind of in that vein a little bit.
Yeah,
So
I would compare it to like Uncharted or something. Unless there's just something we're all missing, and this is like a really big budget movie. I mean, they got the cast. I'm just wondering. Sometimes they use a big cast to kind of just put butts in the seat. It's rather than cast people who could be lesser known but right for the character.
yeah.
So, uh, we'll see.
hmm Yeah, like Jamie Lee Curtis has been in a lot of dumb movies before. It's kind of weird seeing Kate Blanchett though. Like, although Kate
Yeah,
Blanchett's also in the MCU
she was in yeah,
too,
she did great as that character.
but like I feel like the MCU tries to take its material seriously, even if they get stuff wrong sometimes or whatever. And I feel like they have a lot of actors that try and take those roles like really seriously. So it'll be
Mhm.
interesting to see, like, because she's like a elite actress, right, among Hollywood to like take a role as like Lilith in this. So, and
Mm.
Jamie Lee Curtis is too. She's great. She's a great actress. So no knock to her, but she's also been in a lot of the like shitty Halloween movies and stuff like that, and like has been more willing to seemingly like be in those popcorn type
Yeah,
things. And then that's just what Jack Black and Kevin Hart fucking live on,
yeah, yeah.
so
That'd be
like, and no offense to them either, because I enjoy that shit. I love watching dumb movies all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I feel like people will take what we say and make it like a negative.
Yeah,
I enjoy movie people. I think people who watch our channel know I enjoy bad movies.
yeah,
Like, I love watching bad movies, good movies, whatever. As long as it's I'm having a good time, they're having a good time with the movie, then I'll watch it. Not to
Yeah,
say
I think that's like my major problem with it is though, like if it wasn't Kevin Hart, if they actually tried to cast people that like would fit the role closer, I feel like then
Mhm.
it could have been a better movie. Whereas like already going in, like I mean, we'll just have to wait and see, obviously, but like just like if they had a more accurate casting, like it could have been a better movie than what we're seemingly going to
yeah,
get. I don't know.
yeah. And again,
Yeah,
like using those like because this is kind of like
it's marketing.
yeah, and because this is like kind of over the top crazy source material to begin with. It's not like they cast like Kevin Hart as like Sergeant Johnson in Halo, right?
Yeah,
All right, Marines.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll
but
be
where it's
something.
like, oh, this character's kind of a little funny because he, is like uses humor and like the way he talks. Let's just put a hugely famous comedian in this role, right? To like
It
play
bridges
that.
that gap too, because people who never played Borderlands, who
Yeah,
are not a gamer, they're like, if they just see someone like what Jasper was talking about, like someone who's right for the role, but they never acted in another big movie before, they see the trailer like, oh, I guess that looks
yeah,
cool. Who's in it? I don't know who that is. Okay, or they're like, oh, I never heard of Borderlands. They see a trailer, like, oh wow, Kevin Hart. I love Kevin
yeah,
Hart.
exactly.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go see. That's why they do it. It is annoying because I feel like Star Wars is like the only series where they'll cast someone new to embody a role or something like a big sci-fi or big
hmm
franchise. But I feel like more franchises should take a chance with like newer actors and stuff because seeing the same 5 or 10 actors, Timothy Chalamet being like every single movie,
yeah.
it can get kind of tiring.
Yeah, man.
But
It's like if you're an actor though, that's what you want to get to, like where like
you want to get to those
you're
people. Yeah.
fucking such a selling point for a movie that they just pay you a shit ton of money just to play stupid roles and stuff. Like hell yeah, and like the actors are probably like some fuck. I don't fit this movie, but I don't care. Fucking give me $10 million. Hell, I'll do it.
Yeah. And Alvin
Um,
makes a good point. Not a lot of people knew who Master Chief was. He said they did with Halo. I didn't know who Master Chief was, but I'm sure he was in like smaller stuff. But yeah, that's true. That is true.
yeah. Um, interesting. We'll see how it does. It comes out in August, I think. But we'll know even more tomorrow when the full trailer drops. Right, the teaser is pretty okay, but we'll have to wait and see. But it's one of the probably the bigger summer blockbuster type things that they're going to push this year, I think. on everybody. So we'll see.
At
Uh,
least video game wise.
At least video game. It'll be up
Yeah,
there with
Dune
the
comes out.
summer action popcorn, like epic like action movie type things. Is what they're gonna market it like. When does Deadpool Wolverine come out?
I think Deadpool's April, right?
Is it that soon?
Deadpool is coming up, right? It's
Deadpool.
July 26th.
So this comes out a few weeks after Deadpool. It'll be some fun weeks at the movies. I'll go see this movie just out of curiosity. Like, you know what I mean? I haven't put 6,000 hours in like Alvin has, but I played the shit out of Borderlands, So
My favorite Borderlands was actually 3, and
sorry.
I know. And also the Tales of Borderlands. That's what got me into Borderlands. Honestly, like I played that and I was like, wow, this world is interesting. This is really cool. Then I checked out Borderlands 2 and I liked 2 a lot, but for some reason I really like 3. But yeah, cool world.
Yeah,
I'm glad they're finally doing it.
So we also, speaking of movies and castings, we got we actually have the Fantastic Four, right? So we actually know who is going to be the entire Fantastic Four. So I'm going to go through those. Some of the rumors were correct because we talked about these rumors before. We have Pedro Pascal is playing Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. We got Vanessa Kirby is playing Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman. Then we have what's his name?
Joseph Quinn.
Yes, Joseph Quinn as playing Johnny Blaze. And he, if you don't know who he is, he played Eddie in Stranger Things. And the last season of Stranger Things, the one that played the Metallica, the song, on the fucking.
It was the redhead, like brother, whatever, like older brother.
He has the long hair. He had the long hair.
He drove the Mustang.
Wore the leather jacket. No, not that's Billy.
He was in that group, right?
No, that's not him.
Group.
No, you're thinking of Billy. It's not Billy. It's Eddie.
Eddie.
Eddie was
Eddie
the pothead that like.
Okay, yeah.
He was the head of Hellfire Club. Yeah. Eddie. He was the rock guy. He ended up playing the Metallica song. And the fucking one of the most badass scenes ever in Stranger Things. Like that was
that was awesome.
So he became kind of a trending like star on social media when Stranger Things was out, and this is going to be a huge role for him. So Johnny Blaze is Ghost. Did I say Johnny Blaze? What the fuck? What's his name? What's
Johnny
the fucking
Storm.
Human Torch? Yeah, Human Torch.
Yeah, he was the first
Johnny
Marvel
Storm.
character.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah,
Human Torch was the first Marvel character. This is weird to think about.
Right. So Human Torch is going to be Eddie from Stranger Things. Now, the picture they have is have short hair and stuff. Now the actor is like short hair and stuff like that. It's a pretty good fit. I feel like this guy is a versatile actor as well. He's like an actually really good actor that can play multiple different kinds of roles and stuff. So they got him, and then this is my favorite casting here is for The Thing. And
That's a great thing.
If you are familiar with the show The Bear and also Punisher season 1, the actor that was in Punisher season 1, and what's his fucking name? Do you have it, 3-bit or Jasper?
Is it Yvonne Moss Bachrock?
Yes.
I don't even know how to say
that guy. Yeah, so in The Bear he was cousin, right? So he's cousin in The Bear. The Bear is a show on Hulu about a chef that's taken over a family restaurant that was like a famous kind of landmark in the neighborhood, being like I think it was like a sandwich shop or something. I can't remember, but he's trying to turn it into like a high end restaurant because like he was actually a Michelin star chef before he took over his family restaurant. So it's about that like super intensity of him trying to do this for the family business and stuff and resurrect this restaurant. And like Cousin has been part of the family and it's his cousin, right? It's called Cousin, but he's not actually his cousin. It's more like his actual best friend, but they call him Cousin because he's like a cousin, right? But anyway, he's kind of like the fuck up, right? But he's like also, you can tell at his heart he's like a really good dude and stuff. Anyway, he also was in Punisher season 1, and in that show he had longer hair, and he was the guy with the family that the family had been he had to leave because he was wanted. He was like the CIA guy that found out the secrets that's in hiding, right? So anyway, great actor. Fucking love that guy. He's absolutely awesome. And he plays the Thing. So Vanessa Kirby, she's been in Mission Impossible. I've seen her in Mission Impossible.
Yeah, that's the only
thing I can think of. She did fine in that. Like I'm sure she's been in other stuff too, so to reference, but I'm not as familiar. But overall, I think they kind of brought some good quality. It seems like they weren't going for like.
She was in Napoleon. She did.
I haven't seen Napoleon yet.
Yeah, she was great in Napoleon.
So it seems like they really went after like really good talent and people that they feel like can play these roles for like a long time. Where beforehand, remember when we had a lot of these conversations about the MCU, a lot of the actors they were bringing in and stuff was like, who are these people? And like, it seemed like kind of just like they weren't, maybe they were going for people that they thought just fit the role perfectly, but also that it seemed like more of like a budget thing and people that they could get into like long-term deals and stuff like that, as opposed to the big name actors. It seems like this one, they went for like high quality talent, but also big names and all that kind of stuff to kind of bring some star power back to the new age of the MCU. Right. So, Pedro Pascal is like one of the top actors in Hollywood and has been for a while now.
He's probably the biggest one out of everybody.
I mean, it's Mandalorian. He's already he's done DC stuff with the Wonder Woman movie, which I didn't like him in that, but he's also Joel in The Last of Us, right? But he's been in lots of movies that are excellent movies too. So him playing Reed Richards, I think maybe some people aren't gonna like it, but I've seen enough movies with him. I can see that really well. I think it'll fit. But then the others, especially the other two I'm more familiar with Joseph Quinn and then also Cousin. Fucking just perfect for me. Anyway.
Yeah, he in that show, for those who haven't watched it, like he plays that character where he has like a really rough side, but you start caring for him because he's honest. Like he plays that character so well. He has that sort of grittiness to him, but that heart of gold, which is something you need with someone like the Thing.
Yeah,
where on the surface level he seems one way, but he's really just masking how he actually feels, and that's pretty much the Thing's character, which is probably why they casted him.
Yeah.
And what Emit just said, like one thing I haven't doubted is the MCU's casting. Their stories are hit or miss, and mostly formulaic, but the casting has always been solid, and I agree with that. Like they're solid, their casting is pretty good most of the time. Like, so I'm not really worried about like Pedro. I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't see him as Reed Richards, but honestly, he's such a good actor that like whatever their vision for Reed Richards is, I'm sure like we'll know. we'll know what they're going for with that character. But I've seen almost all of these actors and actresses and different stuff, and I could see why they chose them. That's why I feel like they chose him for Thing. Pedro Pascal, he's just such a versatile actor. I'm sure they have like a vision for him being the leader of this team, and how they're gonna do it with him. And Vanessa Kirby, I've only really seen her in Mission Impossible, so I haven't seen her be like the, I don't know, the loyal wife type superhero type character. I don't know. Um, she could do pretty good, I'm sure. Like she was okay in Mission Impossible. I haven't really seen her in anything else. But Joseph Quinn, he was great in Stranger Things. Um
Yeah,
and
he's been
yeah,
in some other stuff that was kind of popular too. It kind of started
Joseph Quinn.
trending and stuff. Yeah, and I'm trying to remember exactly what
Okay.
it was. I need to look it up.
Okay. Yeah, I only seen him in Stranger Things that
Mhm.
I know of. Maybe if you bring up something, I'll be like, oh yeah, he was in that. But overall,
He's
great
in that
casting.
shitty World War II zombie movie called Overlord that came out a few years ago.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't
he's
think
in
I watched
that.
it.
He had a brief thing in Stranger Things. Um, there was it was some maybe it was Catherine the Great or Les Miserables. There was something that was going around like with him like on TikTok and stuff. You know, like he became a big like TikTok sensation with Stranger Things, and there was
Yeah.
like a young crowd that was like really liking him, right? So that there became a lot of like people like, oh, Joseph Quinn and stuff, and so a lot of his other little clips and stuff started showing up from some other things that he did, but I couldn't tell you what they're from.
Yep. And a lot of people are in the chat are like, I like the old cast, and someone said like third time's a charm. This is the first time MCU is getting a chance at Fantastic Four. So all the stuff that they teased at before, like Galactus being a freaking cloud, uh, all that stuff, they don't have to hint at anymore. They can just do. So that's where I'm hopeful in Fantastic Four. Like they can actually have the Baxter Tower mean something. Like the Baxter Tower in the Fantastic Four world, that building is like where Reed Richards, it's like a central part of the city. It's like the tech tower sort of thing, and then Doctor Doom has like his mansion and stuff. They could actually do that stuff within the MCU now, which they couldn't do before because of the rights. So there's a lot of potential with where they can take the story. Like this is the first time Marvel owns the
They're gonna
rights.
come in and buy the old Stark Tower.
That would be, yeah, that would be sick. Honestly, they just buy the Stark Tower, make it the Baxter Building, and that's where they go. I don't know how they're gonna explain where they've been. I think I've seen some plot thing
Well,
where
that's
it's
the
actually
thing with
based in the past.
The Fantastic Four. Like they get their powers from an accident. Like they're not like born with it or
Oh, so
whatever.
they could
So
just like start it like
yeah,
from now. Well, yeah, I guess that they could. Just be like, okay, they just got their powers starting now. The X-Men is a little bit harder to do that with, because X-Men is like that. They're in a world where mutants are hated. They're hating them, and our society hates mutants and stuff like that. So that's a little bit harder to just explain away. But I think we'll find out in Deadpool what they end up doing. But Fantastic Four, I'm excited. They are, to me, a pillar in the Marvel universe. You have like Avengers, you have X-Men, and then you have Fantastic Four. Like I feel like they're just as important. Um, and of course you have like your other big characters and stuff, but those are like the pillar for the comic books. I hope they could become a pillar for this phase as well. But we'll see.
Yeah. Jasper, you liking the cast?
the only people I've ever really seen anything in is Pedro Pascal and then the Stranger Things dude. Like the other two, haven't really seen them, so I can't really comment on them. Like
Right.
the Punisher guy, like I've seen him in the Punisher and that's it. So
Yeah.
don't really have much to say on them.
You should watch The Barry, bro. It's a good show.
Yeah, you should watch The Bear.
It's a fucking good. If you just like a good
Good show.
show, it's a really good show. Like it's really good, really good.
Like great acting,
Yeah,
great cinematography. I didn't know
across
a
the board,
show.
just fucking great show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just great writing overall. That show came out of nowhere. I don't
Yeah.
what the heck. I think they won some awards for it, which is good. But
Yeah, they have.
Mm.
There were I forget the girl's name that's in the bear, but she was supposed to
oh,
be in something too, but then she couldn't do it, so she ended up being like,
some Marvel thing, right?
yeah, I think it was a Marvel thing. And what was her name? Fuck, I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember the black girl, right? I
Yeah.
forgot her name.
She's the sous chef. She's
Yeah,
she's
a
like a
great
hot
actress,
commodity
too.
in Hollywood right now too, like because she's really good in it.
Yeah.
So she's getting a lot of roles and stuff. But there was another thing that
Yeah.
she was doing that conflicted, so she couldn't do.
Ayo DeBeery.
Yeah. What was the thing that
ADB.
she was supposed to do?
Well, I seen her. I don't know.
I remember Neo like had made a post about it. Like they're
I
missing
seen
out.
her in another movie. She was like in this comedy movie I watched, and she was pretty funny in it. But
Was it how do you spell it? Ao Edabiri?
like Edabiri, yeah.
Edabiri, and then it was
Thunderbolts.
Yeah, she was gonna be in Thunderbolts. Yeah, that's right.
Unless this must be old then, because it says it cast her.
Yeah, this was okay. So the bear actress Ao Edabiri is making her MCU debut in the Thunderbolts. That was in August.
And then I see one where it says she exits. So yeah, she was in it, but I guess she just pulled out.
Right.
That's crazy. Would you if you were casted in a Marvel movie, like that would be my dream. I don't know. Everything else would be secondary, but
Unless it's like Star Wars, then
it's
you're
because
like, okay, I'll just do Star Wars.
it's because of production schedule. Like these actors
Yeah.
and stuff have other stuff going on, so I think some of the roles may not be as big, so they're like okay with replacing the actors in order to keep their.
The same
schedules
thing
moving.
happened with Pedro. They had to delay the Last of Us season 2 or whatever because
Yeah.
he was doing other shit.
Yep. Henry Cavill's had this come up before, like at times.
crazy.
Yeah, but also in the Thunderbolts, also Steven Yeun was also supposed to be in the Thunderbolts, and he was not able to do it.
It
And
was my boss's character, Sentry.
Yeah, the one that Paul Jenkins created, the Sentry, right? And he was going to play Sentry, and he can't do it. So if you don't know who Steven Yeun is, he was in Walking
Glenn
Dead.
from
He
The
played
Walking Dead.
Glenn, and he's also in another show which me and Kate watched the entire season of, which is fucking awesome. Really good show. We got completely hooked and watched the whole season in like 2 or 3 days. It's called Beef. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That
show
show's great, dude. You got to finish it, man. And it's just about
really good.
Wendy's?
No, it has nothing to do with food, right? It has nothing to do with food. It's about him and this lady, like they're just strangers to each other, right? But they're both kind of like frustrated with things in their life at that current moment in time, and they have a chance encounter, right, at like outside of a grocery store, and like I think she flips him off after he almost backs into her, and as a honk, it's like a road rage incident ensues afterwards between them. But then it like snowballs, like they keep going after each other in different ways,
worse and
right?
worse.
And it gets worse and worse to where it's just it gets insane, bro. Like it's absolutely a great show. And I don't know if they're making a second season of that or not, like, but I fucking hope
I'm
so.
in an episode with I won't spoil it, but in a car, he's driving off. Something happens, but that's all I'll say. It's really good.
Yeah, you need to watch. You need to watch the whole season. 3-bit.
Yeah, it's hard for me to give more details without spoiling which part I'm on. But
so he's also the voice of the Invincible
yeah,
guy.
Yeah, that's
Is
him
he?
too. Yeah, he's the main character in Invincible.
Yeah, he's fucking great, man. So anyway, they've lost 2 like younger. I mean, I guess Steve Young's not that young, but like
those great actors
2
that we were
great
just
actors,
praising.
yeah, that we're praising,
not.
and the Thunderbolts, man, it could have.
They're not in.
They would have been fucking awesome. So I don't know. I don't think we've known who's replacing them, do we?
Mm-mm.
And whatever their
Not
roles
that we
were.
know. I don't think
Is that supposed to come out this year or next year? Was that a
Well,
movie or show? I don't
now
remember.
The
Thunder-
Thunderbolts. I think it's a movie.
this is
It's a
current
movie.
date is July 25th, 2025.
It could have been a small role, right?
It says the cast still includes Florence Pugh, David Harbour, Sebastian Stan, Wyatt Russell, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Hannah John Kamen, Wyatt Russell, Olga Kurylenko,
Yeah,
Top Gun.
she plays the fucking what's the guy's name that was usually the guy character in Marvel, but then in Black Widow.
Oh,
they replaced it-
Taskmaster.
Taskmaster. Yeah.
Oh.
She played Olga Kurylenko's
then-
Taskmaster. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then it says Mavericks. Lewis Pullman is reportedly the top choice to step in for Yoon. Who's Lewis Pullman?
It's downgrade whoever he is.
Yeah,
No offense,
I-
Lewis. Love you, Lewis. I don't
I
know
see
you.
him.
Lewis Pullman.
He's in Top Gun as well. His
that
top
guy.
article
Okay, I know who.
talks
He's
about
a
how he-
he's a good actor. He's a good actor.
Top
Okay.
article I see of him is how he peed in bags while shooting flight scenes for Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah. No, he's good. He's good.
He is?
Yeah. He's a good actor.
Okay.
He was good
I
in
still
Top
haven't
Gun.
seen Top Gun, so
Yeah, he played Bob in Top Gun Maverick.
played. Okay.
Yeah, he was kind of
Hmm.
like the nerdy one, you know?
He does look like Sentry. As soon as I said that, Alvin said, "He looks like Sentry."
Yeah.
He does look like him. So yeah, sure, why not?
I mean,
Let's
so
do it.
yeah, we went on.
I did beat. Yeah, I beat Mav.
C Money, shout out to C Money,
Yeah.
on point for gamers, member for a month. Said beef was fire. 3-bit beat Mav and rapid fire. Yeah, I saw
Let's go.
that. I thought
Yeah.
we were tied. I thought we tied.
Nope.
How much
I
did
beat
you
you.
beat me by again?
I think I got like 16. You got like 14.
I know I got
Something
16.
like that?
No, I got 16.
I can't remember. But I got the heavyweight, so this doubled my point.
Heavyweight, so we
Right.
tied, but heavyweight beats lightweight. That's fucking not fair, bro. Because it didn't exist. It didn't exist, right? I watched it. It was no different than the shit that I did. What do you mean? It doesn't
I
make
don't
any
know.
damn sense. It was the same thing.
sound kinda
You
salty,
answered
I'm
the
just
same
saying.
amount of questions. Heavyweight, lightweight doesn't fucking matter. I'll put you in your fucking grave next time on the fucking
I don't
show.
know. I don't know. I mean, hey, take it up with C Money. I'm just saying. I feel like I won.
Oh, and then now the rules. Yeah, now the rules are okay. Now it's if they ask the question, it counts, right? So you actually got 15 because when I did it, like you had to answer in time. I really feel like that was a late stage rule change that needs to be grandfathered in back to the situation. You know what I mean? Because maybe, just maybe, I would be a little bit higher up the board. I don't know. It's okay. It is.
We
what
should
it
do
is.
like they were saying on the show. We should do like a question off or something, like a special edition. I feel like that would be
A
pretty
question off.
good. Yeah. I feel like we should do something like that.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe
But
so.
then I would just have to burn you right there, and you'll just have to see right in person. You know, I just have to show you how it's done.
Show me, bro.
Bring
you.
it up.
I dare you. Show me.
Let's go.
I think next week though on FunPop, it'll be Jasper's last FunPop, just like it's his last everything next week. It seems like.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna do like a Marvel trivia thing,
Yeah, let's do it.
just for fun. I got this.
Send Jasper off in style.
Yeah, I got this Marvel trivia game, right? And we can use the cards and we can play, right? here. So we'll do Marvel trivia, like MCU trivia, right?
Yeah.
Marvel trivia at here. Because if we talk comics, I'm fucking gonna lose. Like, so we'll do and then maybe Kate can be here to like run that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how's that gonna work? Because you're gonna be holding the cards and you'll see the answer or whatever. So it's like,
We'll make Kate show up, and then
Be like the judge or
she'll
something.
run the questions and stuff. So we'll see. Maybe we can get Psycho, because Psycho's been really busy too. So hopefully Psycho can make it, and we'll have like a big, because it'll be our last FunPop in a while next week.
Yeah.
So let's just go out with a bang. Marvel trivia.
Yeah, because I guess some people didn't see some of the episodes. Because when Jasper leaves, is it this show? Yeah, I mean, it'll just be harder to do FunPop.
yeah, I'm like the only consistent one.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
consistent. I try to be consistent, but like Jasper is the most consistent out of most people in FunSpec. So like, while I've been showing up and stuff, it's still like harder to do the show without Jasper.
Yeah.
So,
But I don't want to like say we're not gonna have FunPop anymore. Like we'll do it. Like if there's like really cool shit to talk about, it's like really exciting stuff, or like, when Jasper comes back, we'll probably do more. Right. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting for a while. 'Cause I don't know what the schedule's gonna be like long term for that. But the other shows will still go on. We're gonna really miss Jasper's
There's like a
actually
crazy-
attitude on all the shows.
yeah,
damn sure.
like if it's like something super big or like Halo, like oh my god, something happens, then maybe we'll have a FunPop. But yeah, it'll just be less.
Yeah.
I think
It sucks.
sadness. Yeah, little sad.
You just have to keep me up to date. Like when I come back, I'm gonna have like a sheet of 20 questions. Like what happened here? What happened here? So you just gonna have to keep me informed.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah.
with like Deadpool and Wolverine comes out, what we said, July something, right? So I mean, by that time, we should probably be able to all hopefully get together and still have like a show for that and stuff.
Yeah.
After we watch it and everything. So well, I think we'll do kind of more special episodes and stuff going forward after, but it won't be like a regular thing, So anyway, sucks, but it is what it is. So everybody, we got the Fantastic Four, but there's one more rumor going on around the Fantastic Four right now. One more rumor, some fun speculation. Henry Cavill is rumored right now to be cast or being like up for the role, or whatever, of Doctor Doom.
Cool.
Would that be a good fit?
No. I saw
No.
I saw a better casting someone put out there. They said he'd be a better Cyclops, and I feel like he probably would.
I mean, I feel like yes, I feel like he would be a good Doctor Doom.
I just don't.
Especially after seeing him as Geralt, like when he gets into a character, he can like completely transform. Because I think when people think of Henry, they think of Superman and like his personality. But when I think of Henry, I think of like how he can transform himself into like Geralt.
I just feel like he's too like fit and tall, and he doesn't like come off as like as smart of a person as Doctor Doom. Like I think later on, like when Doctor Doom kind of starts evolving, Doctor Doom kind of becomes more fit. But like early on, Doctor Doom's kind of more just like nerdy and like a businessman. So it's like I don't know if he fits that early on.
I mean, I'm just gonna be honest and say, like, for me, the perfect casting for Cyclops was James Marsden. Like, because Cyclops is the one thing about Henry Cavill is I feel like Henry Cavill's a little bit too much of a badass, right? Because the one thing about Cyclops is he's a little bit of that, like, he's a leader.
He's like a prep. He's like a preppy
Yeah,
guy.
he's like that preppy, like he's like a leader, but he's also like kind of like, oh my god, this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like that guy. Like everybody kind of finds a little annoying or like he's kind of a dork. But like, and it's like, yeah, he's a leader, but it's like,
Oh my man.
he's that guy, and like for some reason, like James Marsden, no slight to James Marsden, but like he just like fit that so well the way like he portrayed Cyclops. He's kind of he's got okay, he's a douchebag, right? Cyclops is more or less plays kind of a douchebag,
Yeah. He's like
and
a popular
it's like
college
not
kid.
all the way into douchebag, but slight douchebag. He's kind of he played that up so well, like with the shades, like the sarcastic smirk on his face all the time. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like this better than everybody else kind of attitude, a little bit. James Marsden just fucking nailed it, bro. Absolutely nailed it. Speaking of James Marsden, there was another great show. There was a show that had James Marsden in it, and it was a reality show that me and Kate watched.
The court show.
Yeah, where like there's one they have one juror on this fake trial that doesn't know that the rest of the thing is full of actors, right? And they do like this long drawn out like court process and like a hung jury type situation, all this stuff. And he thinks it's real and it's like a documentary being filmed about the court process and stuff, but like everybody else, all the other jurors and stuff are actors. And James Marsden plays himself like he's an actor that actually got jury duty, right? So like, and he's fucking hilarious because he also plays that same character almost like Cyclops in it, where he's like kind of a he portrays himself as a douchebag, like, which is awesome to see. Like, it's just absolutely fucking hilarious. But he'll always be the best Cyclops to me because Henry Cavill, I don't want to see Henry Cavill play that. You know what I mean? I think he's too badass to play that, even though he is a dork in real life. Like, he's into gaming and all that stuff. Like, that's too cool for me now. Like, it needs to be somebody that thinks that stuff is.
People were saying he's better than Dr. Doom, like as that. It was like, oh,
yeah, I get it. Yeah, I'm curious how the Dr. Doom thing would go.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Emmett Kumar says James Marsden is literally Cyclops in all of his roles. Yeah, 100% fits. It fits it so fucking perfectly. Even like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, when it used to play that all the time. Like Cyclops and his sayings and stuff were like proton or what would he say like when he shoots his goggle laser beams? So he would say like different stuff, and his one was always like yes, his ones were always like the corny ones, like, the ones we all make fun of when we're playing.
Yeah, I do hope, like, because what I like about the MCU is they take those elements of their character and really just like I don't know, they make like Captain America, for example. I hated Captain America before the movies. I was like, he's so cheesy, whatever. But the movie sort of riffs on that and makes it like a thing. And I really hope they do that with the next Cyclops, is really lean into those tropes about these characters. Like, yeah, because Cyclops, he's kind of a nerd. He's kind of like a jock, the sort of jock you would think about. Whereas the I don't know, gets the girl kind of in the bully group, but doesn't have to bully the people necessarily. That's kind of what I think about when I think about Cyclops.
Yeah.
So whoever plays him, good luck trying to outbeat James Marsden.
All that original fucking casting for X-Men was so spot on, dude.
That's what's annoying. Like they were so good, but like now we have to start over. So like,
yeah, they just wrote horrible movies. You know what I mean? But like the cast was fucking perfect.
Yeah.
And then there was no Gambit, which is always fucking fail.
Gambit in what was it, Wolverine Origins?
But
or X-23, whatever the fuck it was called.
They fucked that. That movie was just fucking.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they didn't make a movie with Gambit with freaking Channing Tatum.
I wanted
They
to
were doing
see.
U.S. service.
I don't know. I just was curious because he really wanted to do it, you know. And this
Yeah.
was gonna be like such a different thing. Like, I kind of wanted to see what the fuck would happen, like what it
I don't
would
think he
turn
has that
into.
acting range, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah,
Like
there was that one movie that he was in. Was it like Jupiter Ascending or something like that with him and like Mila Kunis?
that was awful. That was one of the
Yeah,
worst movies I've ever seen. Um, and I like watching bad movies, and even then I was like, oof.
yeah. I mean, I wanted to see it just for the fuck of it. You know what I mean? Like, because I was
Just to
just
see
so
it.
curious, and like I was just happy we're getting a fucking actual Gambit movie. You know, and the thing is though, like the guy that played Gambit in the X-Men Origins Wolverine, right? Like he's a good actor, and I like him and stuff. You know, but I didn't like the the portrayal of Gambit in that scene whatsoever. Like it just didn't fit. It wasn't Gambit to me. So I don't think sometimes like the actor like quality necessarily 100% matters as well as the vision from the directors and like how much the actor really wants to be that character, you know?
Mhm.
Um so maybe this would have been like Channing Tatum's like fucking thing. I was like, holy shit, he can actually act and like he's badass and all that stuff. But now
Yeah.
he's like seems more or less he's just does a bunch of cameo joke roles now in movies.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a lot of movies lately. And Amit Kumar says, this was like when Channing Tatum was coming off of Step Up. I think the timeline when he was going to be
It was
Gambit
like after Magic
started.
Mike and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he started getting like roles. Like he was in Magic Mike. He was in I guess he got Jupiter Ascending, but he was in some other movie. Oh yeah, the 21 Jump Street movies. I think wasn't it right around that time?
I mean, that's kind of when he blew up
Yeah.
was with
Yeah.
21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was around then. I mean, he was one of the hottest names in Hollywood at the time.
Yeah,
You know?
whenever Gambit was being discussed, he was like the
Mhm.
actor at the time.
And he wanted to do it. Like this was like one of his, things. Like he talked about it several times. And I honestly I can't even tell you. I think that movie actually got killed because of the Disney Fox deal. Because
Yeah.
I think around that time is after that, because it had been kind of put on the back burner a little bit, and then Disney and Fox like started merging and all that kind of stuff, and then just a lot of the future things that were planned for those at that universe just kind of got put on the back burner because it's going to be MCU going forward for X-Men, right? So they just finished kind of some of these other stuff that they already had. But see, Black Rider never heard of Channing Tatum?
Wow.
It's crazy.
Didn't that movie that got canceled, wasn't that directed by Bryan Singer?
I'm not sure. There was
Hmm.
another. Speaking of cancellations on movies or announcements of movies that I was hyped for, there's two. I'm curious if you guys have any that stand out to you. But like the Channing Tatum Gambit one is one, right? But then there's two others. My two biggest disappointments for movies that were announced that we never got. One was obviously the Halo movie from Peter Jackson, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that was
And Steven
so
Spielberg was
excited.
supposed to make something too.
And Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah, Neil
Like, what the
Blomkamp
heck?
was the director.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson was the like executive producer. They were using Peter Jackson's Weta Studios, right, in New Zealand and
Mhm.
all that stuff. They made a bunch of props and all those kind of stuff, and then budget got too big. They lost faith in the project with the direction of that it was going. Neil Blomkamp at the time was unknown director because he had only done like small things before that. So, and then out of the ashes of that Halo movie became District 9, right? So he kind of used a lot of stuff in that movie.
Yeah. Which was
I
incredible.
like Neil Blomkamp, and I think it could have been great, but like I'm still his vision is a little weird for Halo at the same time, like as far as like his style. So I just really curious how it would have fit. It could have been amazing because he's a great director.
I feel like if you watch like
I think he was going to go more into like the actual flood kind of stuff.
Maybe,
And
yeah. He does really
he
personal
likes like
stories,
grittiness.
you know.
He
Yeah,
likes like if you watch like Chappie, I think
yeah,
that was his other movie,
yeah.
right?
He did Chappie. He did District 9. He did Elysium with Matt Damon. He's done some other stuff
Yeah.
too.
Dang.
Something.
Actually, I would love to see that. I don't know.
Yeah, Elysium actually, like there's a scene like the planet in space where like all the rich people live. Like when they approach it, kind of looks like a fucking ring planet, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and I saw that, I'm like, that's fucking like it's crazy. It kind of looks like a Halo ring. But the other movie, this is like maybe my most disappointing thing that's never happened, was Splinter Cell. It's gonna be a movie,
Mm.
and Tom Hardy was gonna fucking play Sam Fisher.
That's a shame.
Oh, talking about a fucking home run, dude. And he wanted.
'Cause
He
you already
wanted
have
to
like
do it.
Michael B, so that would have been like interesting.
Fucking Tom Hardy playing, because Tom Hardy's got range. Like he can adapt. Like he can change his voice. He can do all these different kinds of things. And
Fantastic guy.
he's a badass. And seeing him just in that role would be amazing. A spy espionage type movie, but playing Sam Fisher, like God, that would have been fucking so great, dude. And then see that continue over time. I was thinking like, oh, this is gonna be great.
that would have been like a fucking Mission Impossible series.
Yeah,
with
you
him,
could have
like...
done so much with that. That's why I was so excited for it, man. That was like something that was announced, like they were talking about it, and then it just vanished with Splinter Cell
that's a
games.
sad one. That is sad. What Alvin said with Coyote versus Acme. How do you
Yeah,
say
so
that?
that's a done movie. The one he's talking about is Coyote versus Acme.
Friggin' annoying, man.
They're like WB like has it, but they like
They
won't
won't release
it. Yeah,
and then once they got backlash for that, they're like, okay, we're gonna release it. We just need to find a distributor.
yeah.
They didn't really try and find a distributor. They just said like an outrageous amount of money, and then they were surprised that no person would buy it. And then they're like, okay, well, we're just gonna shelf it, and that's kind of where they're at now. And so some voice actors and stuff are starting to speak out on it, but WB just really loves those tax cuts, and I feel like it's damaging. Where I feel like regulators need to start getting involved with stuff like that, because
Yeah.
it's getting to that area where it's getting kind of corrupt. Like they did it with so many movies now. It's just like people need to look into that. You just can't just be making movies and
Yeah, that's
just
like
making
debt
the
that they
tax
can
cut.
write off, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, they did the same thing with the Batgirl movie. It's like 90% done. They showed it to like the people that were in the movie. And it's like, okay, it's never coming out.
Yeah.
yeah, this is crazy.
So the other thing we got was the X-Men 97 trailer, right?
Oh,
And yeah, that came out. That's coming soon to
Yeah.
Disney Plus. What did y'all think of that? You think they got the animation on the money and the voices right and stuff, or are you a little nervous about it?
I'm excited about it because I love X-Men 97. Like that was my show growing up. Like that's what I watch every Sunday morning, whatever. I'm half and half on the style. Like sometimes it looks really good. And other times I'm like, oh, whatever.
Sometimes it's
But
like too clean. It needs to have some of that like
yeah,
90s like filter on
I
it.
saw people talking
Yeah.
about like the characters look great, but it's also like you can tell they kind of toned down some of the over like
the butts.
yeah, the physique on the characters, right? They kind of
Yeah.
toned down the physique on like Rogue and Storm and stuff like that.
That's
So
yeah. That's always
the,
a
yeah,
but
it's different times or whatever. But like you have, I don't know, like is that just an art style direction or is that like a conscious decision? You think?
I feel like just today's society is a conscious
Yeah.
decision at this point. Like just how they're doing it. Like it's I feel like it's in too many things now where you just tone down stuff like that. I don't know. But
It doesn't make sense though, because like if you watch the movies and stuff like that, right? the way they
Yeah.
have the camera angles and all this stuff, like they clearly like have
But I
these
mean,
things on purpose
even
to
with the new
sexualize
movies,
the
like
characters, you know?
they've like been going away from that with like especially the X-Men movies, like Mystique, like in the early 2000s, just like full tit shots, and then like now she's like
Yeah.
wearing like clothes and shit. So it's like, I mean, they've kind of went away from that.
Yeah, I guess
It
so.
will start to, which I don't know. It is what it is.
I'm
Like
not
I
saying
think
we
it's
need to see
necessary.
cartoon ass and tits. Like
We need.
I'm just saying it's interesting. I've seen a lot of people like bring that up about the
Yeah.
people that have been complaining about it a little bit. It's like for me, I don't really care. I just like the show and the characters more so. But overall, I think there's a lot of promise for X-Men '97. I think it looks pretty sick.
Yeah, the style, I think it looks cool. Like it does sometimes, like I was saying, like Jasper was saying, it feels like a filter of the '90s, whatever. And I think it's because they're blending in 3D with 2D. I didn't realize that until I watched the trailer. Like I had a post where I was just like, someone had a picture and it just looked 2D to me. And I mean, I do 3D and 2D. So even to me, I'm like, okay, no, it looks 2D to me. But when you see the actual trailer, um, it's like they do a mixture. It looks like certain scenes, or it's just a really good filter where they look really good, like from really flat and it looks 2D. But if they like start walking, you could see the 3D shader kind of come in. I can't tell until I watch the show probably. But overall I'm excited for it. They're seemingly embodying what X-Men is. Um that sort of team element is what I love about X-Men. They had basically Wolverine jump on Gambit's back and his claws were like being powered by Gambit. Gambit's like
Yeah,
energy.
that's
That
all. That
was
was
sick.
sick.
That was
Oh, it
freaking
comes
sick.
out March
Yeah.
20th. I won't watch it. Okay.
Yeah. So um I mean, I was nerding out for it, and they had the original like X-Men song, like so they got me. As soon as
Yeah.
they played that song, I was like, I'm in. I don't even
Yeah.
care what I see after, or that was like my thing. So I'm excited for it either way. I hope it's good.
Looking forward to it. Think it's gonna be absolutely awesome. Now I want to get back into this because we've been talking a little bit about casting, okay? And we're seeing like the X-Men '97 show come out. We know Deadpool versus Wolverine's coming, and then at some point, the casting decisions are gonna come out and come out for the X-Men. So, like in this, is there any actors you think they go and stick with from the original cast?
For X-Men,
Yeah, for the new X-Men. I mean, we've seen Kelsey Grammer as the Beast in the end credit scene or whatever, but like, I feel like that's kind of a thing that's going to be probably
I think
found out a way to get rid of.
it all depends on how they incorporate the X-Men, because like you could still do like Halle Berry as Storm, like, but she's going to be a bit older, so maybe she's more of that teacher side of thing, like in the school itself. Like, so it all kind of depends on how the time frame of they lay out the X-Men is. So like a lot of the people that we saw like as the actual team in the early movies in the 2000s, like they could be teachers now if it's depending on how they play out the time frame. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope they find a way to just reset it like completely, right? Like,
I hope so too. Like that's kind of what I want. I know it's hard for people to let Wolverine go because he's such a perfect Wolverine.
yeah, but when they make this, they're going to be looking ahead at probably having a lot of these actors play these characters for like a good 10 plus years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so like unfortunately, there needs to be a new Wolverine. There needs to be a new Professor Xavier. Um Everyone who I think was perfectly cast probably needs to be
Yeah, what a
recast.
fucking perfect casting
Oh,
Professor X was, man. Like Patrick
yeah.
Stewart, dude. Like we talk about some of the perfect castings of
Oh,
all
I mean, the
time.
good thing
like,
is with that is like he's gonna be like 99 years old by the time this
Yeah.
X-Men stuff gets going around, so he'll be in a wheelchair automatically anyway. So you don't have you can just pull him around.
did the original X-Men have the best casting for characters ever? Like
They're more Avengers. I mean, Avengers
the Avengers
has
2.
perfect too.
Yeah.
Like that's Iron Man.
What's stronger, do you think? The original X-Men, like, and I'm not talking about the movies. I'm just talking
Mhm.
about the casting for the roles, right? And the jobs that the actors did portraying those characters, right?
Right.
The original X-Men or the Avengers? What's stronger? I feel like there could be a really strong argument for both here, because you had Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, you had Patrick Stewart as fucking Professor X, and just those two alone, you could stop there and be like, holy shit, that's like perfect, right? And then you go into, like, we just talked about James Marsden as Cyclops. Like,
Yeah,
that
it's
was
perfect.
just the ultimate perfect Cyclops. You had, I don't know the name of the actress, but the lady that played Jean Grey was absolutely
Yeah, she was
perfect
great.
with her role as
The
well.
girl who played Rogue was great too. I forgot her name. I think
The
it's Anna
thing,
Paquin.
yeah, Anna Paquin.
Anna Paquin.
I do have issues with the character Rogue they had,
Mhm.
but
I have sort issues with the writing, but I thought she
yeah,
did great.
as
Yeah, I mean
as the way
some of the actors
personality
weren't
and
as
stuff.
good as like the Avengers actors, but I mean,
Yeah. So I would say with Wolverine, that's iconic. You get a lot of points for that.
Yeah,
With Xavier, you get a lot of points. With Magneto, I feel like you get a lot of points. Um, and then Cyclops, you get a ton of points. I think he's like the perfect Cyclops. Um, I feel like Storm. I feel like they still haven't got Storm. That's the one thing. Like a lot
yeah.
of people like Halle Berry.
You don't like Halle Berry as Storm?
No, I like her as Storm, but I feel like her comic is a little bit different. I feel like they could get even more accurate with who Storm is. She's like this African
Yeah.
warrior with like like she has like a African accent, for example, and stuff like that. Like I feel like they could get pretty accurate with whoever they cast later. Um, but yeah, what a great cast for that's X-Men. Every other character, I'm like, yeah, you could probably find someone else there. For Avengers, I can't picture any other person with a lot of the Avengers. I'm just thinking like Iron Man was perfect, Captain America was perfect, Thor is really great. Um it's just a little bit harder for me to picture other people as the Avengers as opposed to X-Men, where I feel like
Right.
maybe I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm ready for the X-Men to have like a new cast. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
the reason.
Well,
But I don't know.
it's interesting because we've seen them do a different X-Men cast and then just completely
Yeah.
fuck it up. You know,
Yeah.
like,
True.
I
We've
mean,
seen other.
I think Jennifer Lawrence played a good Mystique, like slash Raven or whatever. I think she was pretty good. Rebecca Romaine Stamos played uh the original as well. I think she did
Yeah.
fine with it, but she had a much smaller role.
I think they
to begin
nailed
with.
more of the side X-Men projects as of late, like with the Deadpool and like Colossus and Magic and that like horror show, like
Yeah,
or horror movie that they made. Like they've kind of nailed more of the side or
people
side casting
just
movies.
threw that movie out to the side and called it trash before everyone watching it. You know, that's a pretty solid movie that they made to kind of end that. But the other ones, like they got the girl from Game of Thrones to play Jean Grey, and when they retold it, I
Movies
forget
are
her.
so bad.
Yeah,
She cannot. Sorry.
you had I mean, I like James McAvoy as an actor, but like he just was never a good Professor X for me. Um, Wolverine was still Hugh Jackman, so that worked. But there's a lot of the castings. It's like the girl that played Storm there, she was fine, but like it just didn't really care about the character whatsoever. You know, I will say the Apocalypse guy, the guy that played Apocalypse, I was it
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac. Yeah, he did great. You know, and that Michael Fassbender was a great Magneto for a younger Magneto. I liked him in that role. But if you compare it to the original casting of, like, I think it was Ian McKellen that played the original fuck.
Mhm.
Like, you talk about a
See,
perfect casting for Professor X, he was a perfect casting for Magneto too, man. It's
Yeah,
just
he
so
was.
spot
Yeah.
on, dude.
it kind of makes me wonder if Marvel is gonna kind of avoid a lot of these characters and just kind of do their own kind of newer mutants. Because like we see with Miss Marvel, like she's technically a mutant, so it seems like they're kind of making other characters mutants as opposed to maybe bringing in like a Wolverine or something like that.
Mhm.
But if
So
they don't redo
Okay.
X-Men, like X-Men is like, before the Avengers really took off with the MCU, you ask people what's the most popular Marvel stuff, right? Spider-Man, and it was X-Men, right? Like, X-Men is one of the treasure troves of fucking Marvel. And they didn't have access to it. You know, you also throw Fantastic Four in there as well, but they didn't have access to it. And now they got the X-Men. And if you were to ask them, what are you gonna make movies based on, if they had the access to it beforehand, they probably would have went with X-Men over Avengers if they had access to it, because X-Men is just more popular overall, right?
Yeah.
Now they have that opportunity, and I just really want to see what they did with the original MCU now, like, blown up with X-Men. And I got to see that whole thing come full circle, because we had the Foxes, but there was no consistency about storytelling or anything within that whole universe. There's nothing made sense, like, one movie to the next. But, like,
Yeah,
now with
timelines are all over the
it
place.
just
on the
fucking, yeah,
Foxes.
like, you didn't talk about plot holes. I mean, holy shit. You
Yeah.
go to MCU, they found a way mostly to make everything, like, work way grander scale than the X-Men ever did. But you bring this, I want to see that with X-Men. I want to see the attention to the smaller characters and blow them up like they did with the MCU as well. Um, I just got to see the fucking characters come to life, man, like, in a big way.
Yeah, man. I
The
want to
ones we
see
care
the.
about, you know.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm gonna
as I was
see
saying,
them
like
come back to that.
if they avoid the main characters that they've already done, like you get a better chance at Gambit, I would say. Like,
Mm. Yeah, but he's part of the X-Men team. Like, he was,
yeah,
like,
but
cast aside for those other
they
movies. Like,
haven't.
come on.
But my point is, they haven't done him yet, like in the Fox universe. So, like,
Right.
if they're trying to avoid all those Fox characters because, like, they don't want to try to replicate that or whatever, and they want to try to push new characters to the forefront, then they would avoid people like
Right.
Storm, Cyclops, and Wolverine.
Okay, so let's do this. Okay,
Yeah.
we get 5 X-Men, and this will be the last thing we do on this show. Okay, we get 5 X-Men to pick the main core team. Okay, that's fair, right?
Yeah.
You get 5, and Professor X doesn't count. Okay,
Okay.
because
Yeah,
he's gonna be there regardless,
got in shape.
right? They're gonna have Professor X. So you get 5 core X-Men, and I want to know what actors or who you would choose to
Oh,
cast
Jesus
them.
fucking Christ.
Oh man.
The MCU X-Men.
Honestly,
Who is it in your world?
in my world, I wouldn't cast a known person for any role.
Okay.
That's what they did with Hugh Jackman. Now we know Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. But if I was directing this, I would get like unknown actors, and then so that way when people look at the X-Men, they're like, these are the characters, rather than Kevin Hart playing as this character or The Rock playing as, because then people associate the actors rather than the characters. So I don't know. I would just get somebody who's not really well known. I know that's the boring answer, but that's what I would do.
Yeah, I think we'll be here all night trying to pick cast for it. So I think the better thing would be just like, who's your 5 X-Men?
Who's your 5
If-
core? Okay, who's your 5 core? It's not enough,
All right.
really, because I was thinking about this, and, like, it's not enough.
My 5 core X-Men. First off, you need Wolverine. Wolverine's in there. But people think that Wolverine is the main character, whatever. No, Cyclops is leading that team. It's important that he does lead the team because Wolverine has anger issues, whatever. He needs to be the person like, no, I got this. And he's like screws the thing up for the team. And then Cyclops is like, why don't you listen to me? And they have that sort of back and forth. So I think Cyclops needs to lead the team, need Wolverine in there, and that's like a guarantee. If you have them in there, there has to be a love triangle, which means Jean Grey. You gotta add Jean Grey in. Right? So that means there's like 3 there that's already guaranteed that you have in there. Now, when you add those 3, you gotta have the person that doesn't really know what they're doing, that's just kind of going with the flow, kind of learning things, and it's usually either Kitty Pride or Rogue. So that is the cast where you can change which one you want to use. I'll just go for Rogue because I want to see the southernness of Rogue that wasn't really in the movies as much, but was in the cartoons and everything else. That southern like, hey darling, I want to see that Rogue. So that's 4. And the last one is I guess Rogue needs someone to love, so you add in Gambit. And they have like a love triangle sometimes. Or like a
Yeah,
love.
so this was my problem too. I was thinking about it, and like, if you have either Rogue or Gambit, you got to have the other one. And the same thing
Yeah.
about Cyclops and Jean Grey,
Yeah.
right? So, like, that's why I was saying like 5 is actually not enough, because it would suck to have those other characters without the other ones in it, right? So, yeah, it's not enough. 5 is not enough, but we'll stick with 5 for now. I like it, 3-bit. All right, Jasper, what about you? Give me 5.
So
But
my 5,
there'll be more than this. It's just the 5 core ones.
yeah.
Okay.
My 5 is I'm going to take kind of in a bit of a different route.
Okay.
I think the two leaders are Beast and Colossus. Those are going to be like, Beast kind of
I got
smarts, Colossus more like the physical aspect of that as your 2 leaders of the team. And then you have Nightcrawler, who's like still the new guy. He's like trying to figure out everything. He's kind of clumsy or whatever here and there. And then you got to have kind of 2 females to balance out the three males on the team. So I think you get like Rogue, and you also want to introduce some like newer characters that we're not familiar with. So then you start introducing like a Polaris as that other side character.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think about the balancing of the team as much. But yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. Fair enough. I like it. I'm going Rogue. And I'm going Gambit, of course.
Yeah,
I gotta have Gambit, right? And then you gotta have Wolverine. I will nominate the lead actor from The Bear to play Wolverine.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, he's kind of buff now, right?
Yeah, he's he's short, he's jacked, he's kind of got the wild hair, I think it could work.
Yeah. I could see it. I could see the vision.
Yeah. The Bear guy, the lead actor for The Bear, and instead of the Bear, he's the Wolverine.
He plays angry really well in Bear, actually, now I think about
he
it.
gets angry quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
never
Bear
thought about
guy. So you got Cousin playing Thing, and you got main actor of the Bear, I forget his name in the show, playing Wolverine. Let's go. His voice is off though. He's got to like get his voice down there a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Hey, bub.
that's the main thing is his voice. Hugh Jackman nails the fucking Wolverine voice, dude. Like,
yeah, he does. He gets into it too. He's like,
yeah, like it just fucking embodies. I know he's too tall. For everybody who says like he isn't the perfect casting because he's too tall. If he was like 5 inches shorter or a foot shorter or whatever, he would be the absolute. There would be no question to anybody ever that he's the best Wolverine. So we got Gambit, we got Rogue. You got to have Wolverine. Okay. This is where those are my like 3 favorite X-Men, right? This is where after that it's like, I get a little.
That's
bit
why I had
like,
to throw Colossus in there because he's.
yeah, I get you. If we're looking for that character that's that like newbie type character that's like young and learning things and stuff, for me, because of the show, watching the show when I was a kid, it's Jubilee.
yeah.
They kind of did her a disservice in the movies.
Dude, who did I say? I was thinking
you said
I said
Rogue.
Kitty Pryde.
You said
I
Kitty
said
Pryde and Rogue.
Oh, okay.
Rogue
Yeah, I was
for me was more established,
Yeah.
But Jubilee was that like, you know, young entry into the X-Men. Like I feel like you could do a lot with that. And she
Yep.
was kind of done a disservice in the movies before because they just like, made her like this kid sitting at a desk and just like this little kid, and that's
Yeah, they never
it.
really
You know?
used her. She was always like
Yeah.
a background character.
So I would put her for that role, and then I want. So how many is that? Is that 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got one more.
I want there to be a battle for leadership. Okay. And I
Mm.
want there to be like 3 people thinking they should be the leaders. And I think the personalities like all kind of have different interests. Like Wolverine has a different interest, right? Gambit has different interests, right? Like they're all kind of both more self about themselves and what they're had been like their own missions or their own things they've been seeking after or whatever. And then you got to have the one person that's like, we need to be a team, you know, we need to be this or whatever. But I feel like you need to have that clash there. And I was trying to stay away from Cyclops because it's just too like fitting.
Mhm.
But I think it has to be Cyclops. And I
Yeah,
think it needs to
has
be a
to,
battle
right?
for leadership there. They can't have X-Men without fucking
He's such a
Cyclops.
perfect thing to
He's the
Wolverine.
glue in a way that glues it
Yeah.
together, right? It's the contrast to him to Wolverine. Wolverine doesn't want to be a leader, but I want him to want to be a leader in this. Like I want him to like hate the way Cyclops does shit so much that he wants to take control and says fuck this. And then Gambit's
Like Cyclops is gonna be the one that follows the rules, and Wolverine's gonna be like, "No, just fucking go in there and take him out or whatever." It's like,
yeah. Like it's just kind of, you
That could
know,
work.
and then like Gambit's like, neither are you doing right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm out. You know, because Gambit's always kind of like I'm on the outs and then pull me back in. I'm on the outs and pull me back in type guy. You know what I mean? So, I want to see that with Gambit.
Yeah,
As
that's
well.
always the story in like the cartoons. Like
Yeah.
Wolverine's like, screw it, I leave this team. He always leaves the
Yeah.
team, and then and then he realizes he's wrong because of Cyclops. Like, man, I hate that guy, and then he ends up back on the team. Like, yeah, you gotta have
Yeah.
that. Have that.
Prince Green's
we
right.
gotta
He says Storm gets the credit. It never gets credit. She was the leader for many times in the X-Men. The thing about Storm is like she's never had like a strong in the movies and in the show like the strong personality to where she enforces her will. You know, she's always just kind of been there and goes along with things. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
it would be nice to see that in a way. So if you could replace Cyclops with Storm, I would be all for that. But whoever it is needs to fit that role of like
It depends which X-Men you're going for. There's a classic X-Men which has like Nighthawk and some other members of the team that aren't as used as like the cartoon X-Men, but yeah, that is true. Storm is an interesting character, but I feel like you need a good writer because Storm has that's why I was like Halle Berry. I feel like they haven't nailed that character yet because in the comics she has such a cool, rich history. Like she marries Black Panther, right? Which could be a cool tie-in with the MCU if they do go that route. So I mean, she becomes like a thing in Wakanda and all that. So I feel like that's the one character MCU should definitely consider and make that character dope.
Yeah, I agree. Like as far as the shows and the movies, like they haven't done like she still does badass stuff, but it's like she's more just a soldier. You know what I mean? Kind of like she's always just like, yeah, I'm going along for what everybody needs me to do, and I'm here to do that. Like, and has the badass scenes, but they don't give her her own like personality too much in the movies.
Yeah,
and stuff.
It's just like a plot point, like helping out with the team here or there.
Right.
I get it. It's kind of hard to do Storm. Like she has such very godly powers. So,
But see, this is the kind of thing
I
like the
feel like that's
MCU
on
has
there.
a chance to do right. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you could really grow each one of these characters like amazingly, like they did with Iron Man. You know,
Yeah,
they made
they have a
everybody
chance to.
give a fuck about Iron Man.
And that's what I was saying. Like, I think they have a problem if they try to redo old characters. Like, people kind of already know them, so that's why I think they probably will go for like newer people.
Yeah,
Mm.
we'll see.
Yeah, Iron Man his comics were like trash in my opinion. I mean, he had like some good ones, but it wasn't until the movies where people started to like Iron Man. I feel like people forget that
Yeah,
the movies came out.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean,
Their comics are also terrible in my
Shang-Chi
opinion.
now, like fucking great.
Hmm And
Um,
they turned a lot of those characters around. So
yeah, I think this has a chance to be like something special if they do it right. But we'll have to wait and see. Um,
yeah.
Anyway, everybody, this has been this episode of Fun Pop. Like I said, we got one more next week. Thursday, we got PM in the PM, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Friday, we got Xbox Ultimate Podcast at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see if we get any more gaming news or anything in between then. Hopefully we do. Actually, we know we will because there will be a Nintendo Direct. Is that tomorrow or Thursday? I think it's...
I don't
I
know.
think it's tomorrow, right?
I know the Elden Ring trailer's tomorrow.
Okay. Well, we'll have more stuff to talk about. But anyway, appreciate each and every one of you
tomorrow.
for being here as always. 3-Bit, tell everybody where they can find you, bro.
Everyone can find me on Twitter at i3bit. I have the first episode of Pixelated Echoes. Yeah, it's on Sunday. Again, some crazy stuff happened last Sunday with YouTube's policies, but should be set up for 2 o'clock Eastern time. Be there. We're gonna talk about some fun stuff coming up. So that is for that show. I'm of course on this channel every Monday on FSP. FunPop might be up and down. We'll see. And that is it. A lot of good conversations in chat. Seen you guys put the snub list for X-Men.
Uh-huh.
I'm watching you guys. I agree with that snub list. You had like the Beast and stuff in there.
I mean, I put an arbitrary 5, right? Like I
Yeah.
said, it needs to be like 10, probably. Maybe.
Yeah,
And
let's
I
hear-
also had Beast and Nightcrawler on my team on that snub list. So
Yeah, I was thinking about
I didn't-
Nightcrawler and stuff, but you got 5 X-Men. You guys try to pick just 5. It's freaking hard. X-Men is like so many good characters in X-Men. But anyways, love y'all. Thanks for coming. And it's gonna be sad having Jasper leave this channel. He's been part of our family for a while. So make sure you guys give him your yo-yo-yos on the way out. And we'll see you guys later. Bye, y'all.
Yeah, man. Thanks, 3-Bit. And Jasper, what about you, sir?
Yo. Got a little over a week left, and then I'll be out of here for a while. So check it out on Twitter, Lord Jasper. It's about it. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, one more time, right here, 10 o'clock.
Right on. Yep. Yeah. So next week's the last week for every show, I think, right?
Yep. That first day of March is my last show.
All right. Everybody, you rock again. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and we'll see you all later. Peace out.
Me.
Bye, y'all.